Good day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to my humble home in Livingston, Montana. Okay, this doesn't mean anything, but today's date is the 14th of August of 2021. I'm always screwing my dates up, something. I'm always screwing something up here. Okay, I'm here for one reason and one reason only, and that's to talk about the marriage, if you will, of an ILF, International Limb Fixture, Bow Riser, and Limbs, the marriage thereof, if that makes any sense. In this day and age, with this new fitting, well, it's not new now, but it's new to me, because back in my day, we didn't have anything like this, and that's that International Limb Fitting or Fixture or Furniture, whatever you want to call it, this system of mounting, because it allows you to switch risers all over the place in between all kinds of limbs, and from different companies, is about what this, it's a mounting system that coexists with risers and limbs. That's about the best way I can put it. Okay, the riser that I'm going to be showing today is a 21-inch Tradtech, Trad stands for traditional, a 21-inch Tradtech traditional, ILF, International Limb Formation or Fixture riser, a 21-inch. I want to pound that home because that number right there has a lot to do with your finished product. In other words, when you marry limbs up, how long your AMO is going to be. You got to keep that in mind, because these risers come 27 inches, 25, 23, 21, 19, 17. It gets complicated. Okay, but anyway, I've got this riser. It's a wood riser. It's not an aluminum, whatever. And then I've got a pair of limbs. They're okay, let me get this right. They're WNS. That's an abbreviation for winners. They're basically made by Win & Win, okay? Real famous bow makers, limb makers, or whatever have you. But they're called WNS Explore CB, which stands for Carbon Bamboo. Got that? Carbon Bamboo 1 Trident limbs. CB1 Trident limbs. I think I got that right. And so I married these two items, these archery items, up and ended up with a 66-inch AMO bow. And I didn't quite figure the math out right when I was figuring out the poundage that I wanted. And to make a long story short, without getting into it, I ended up with a bow that was 6 pounds heavier than I wanted. So you got to pay attention to the math. Here, before I start in here, let me give you a tip on this ILF stuff. When you get it in your head what draw weight you want, just minus it by 10 pounds. If you want to, if you're looking for 45 pounds of draw at 28 inches, just minus 10 pounds off that and order up a 35-pound limb in whatever length. Because they come like small, medium length, long, extra long, and like that. And all that stuff ties in to what ultimately the bow is going to be, what it's going to pull, etc., etc. Trust me on this. I've been through it. And I'm a first-time ILF, I have trouble with that, ILF owner. I'm just brand new to this ILF stuff. I've been researching about it, but, this is my first attempt at it, so cut me some slack, please. Okay, now, how much time do I got in this stupid file? Because I always get carried away. Okay, let me buzz through this real quick. Now, this setup that I put married together doesn't come with this case. I bought this case separate to hold these, the riser and two limbs, okay? Let me back up here for just a second. I'll get up a little closer. I'm having to shoot this video inside today because outside here in Livingston, Montana, it is smoky. I mean, smoky, hazy. You know, it'll gag a maggot. You get lung cancer out there. The air is practically unbelievable. I think it's up on around 137 on the air quality index scale or something. I don't know. Okay, let me get in here. Okay, before I have an accident, let me set things down here so I don't have an accident. Let me show you the riser first. Like I say, this is a Tradtech Trident, 21-incher. And a lot of people, I can just hear right now, oh, God, that's ugly. God, I wouldn't have bought that. You know what? God bless you, but I don't care. You know, the pickings in the archery market were kind of slim this year on account of this COVID crap. A lot of these vendors were out of stock on stuff and blah, blah, blah. I know. I messed around with it ever since about the 4th of July of this year. But this is a wood, if you will, Tradtech, right there is the name. Tradtech Archery. And I hear tell that this Tradtech is somehow affiliated with Samick. But there's where you slide the limbs in right there, and there's this bolt right there that the limb slips under. You know what I'm saying? Sure you do. You guys know more about this stuff than I do. Limb slips underneath there. Goes right in this brass saddle there. You adjust, see these screws right here? This is how you adjust the limbs back and forth, and this right here adjusts the tiller and the poundage a little bit. But this is some kind of hardwood. I looked all over the place to try to figure out what Tradtech was doing, and I, you know, with whatever kind of, compressed hardwood or whatever have you, laminated, hardwood, I don't know. I don't know what the wood species is, but it's good and comfortable though. The handle's got I think they call it a high rise, and it's definitely not a real fat handle. It's just about right. I've got medium sized hands, and just about right for me. And of course, guy needs to put his own shelf on here. You know what I mean? Like a rug rest or something like that. And I don't know what else to show you. 21 inches long, like I say. Personally, myself, I think this is kind of nifty looking. Because when I got back into archery this summer, I never really had hunting in mind anywhere. So I don't care if this bow is neon green or whatever here, venom green or, But I got this yesterday. I put it together last night. And everything was looking pretty good, but okay, here's the riser. Let me set it down. Tradtech Trident. Let me slip these limbs out of here. There's one of the limbs. Yeah, I hate having to shoot this in my house, record this video, but I figure as long as I just get it recorded. Besides that, the wind's blowing out there. Now, like I said before, these are, I threw that cover or that case down there. I'll need it here in a minute. But yeah, the wind's blowing out there, and it makes it very difficult to record and all this other stuff. But anyway, like I said, these are carbon bamboo. That the core on the inside of these is bamboo. Okay, I know because this camera probably isn't picking it up, but if you look really close, you can see the little ridges. You know the ridges that bamboo has. Well, I know this camera's not picking it up, and then of course on the outside here. On the inside of the limb and on the outside of the limb is a layer of carbon. And man, I was watching a deal on YouTube last night, a small video clip, and they was using a hydraulic press, and they crushed down on a little square of graphite or I mean carbon, excuse me, carbon fiber that was like an inch by an inch or inch and a half by an inch and a half. And that carbon fiber block took 100,000 pounds of pressure before it started caving in. 100,000 pounds. No, 100,000 tons. Yeah, 100,000 tons. Oh, man, just carbon, it's some pretty tough stuff. And Howard Hill, one of the world's most famous archers, probably the greatest archer that ever lived, he preferred a special species of bamboo from Japan in his longbows. I think it was called Tonkin bamboo or whatever have you. So, bamboo has been used by bowyers for quite some time. It's a really good limb wood and whatnot have you. But anyway, this is what these limbs look like. I don't know if you can read that writing right there, but there we go. See, this is what I didn't calculate on. 70 at 42. I was shooting for 42 in a 66 AMO bow, but that's not the way this works out. So, like I was telling you, you get a number in your head, when it comes to these type of fit together type bows and whatever have you, and just minus it by about 10 pounds, and you'll get her just about right. Because, that's another thing I almost forgot to say this. Anyway, these are these two limbs. I think you can see all the writing on here, and right there, carbon bamboo. But one thing I was going to say, I could not believe that. Just remembered about this riser right here. When I was taking this riser out of its sheath, out of the little plastic sheath, there was a sticker right on the sheath that, how true this is, I don't know. But it said, made in Italy. This riser right here. This Tradtech Trident riser, 21-inch wooden, laminated wood, hardwood riser. Made in Italy. Get that, Okay. But put together, married together, these limbs and that riser, I've got a 66 AMO bow. You got to know all this stuff, so you can get your pounding, your draw right, and your pounds right, and the right string and all that stuff. Me, when I ordered up this stuff, I did everything just perfect except for screwed up on that one number. Everything comes off of 70 inches. I'm not going to get into it because I'd be here longer than you guys care to stare at my ugly face, let me tell you. All right. Like I say, here we go with these limbs. They're carbon on the front, carbon on the back. It looks to me like they've got one great big lamination of bamboo right in the middle. So there you are with that. Now, okay, that's about all I can say. And with this particular setup that you're seeing right here, what I ended up with was a 46-pound pull at 28 inches of draw, once these limbs are all married together and everything. And, of course, I took the time last night to study how to adjust these on the riser, the limbs, but I'm not going to go into all that because there's other videos that are way better than me. I'm just a first-time owner of this ILF system, International Limb Formation or Fitting or whatever you want to call it. Okay. Now I'm going to put this bow together and quit. And everybody's going, yay! Oh yeah, with that riser you get through. Like I say, this case don't come with, but you get Allen wrenches, 3 Allen wrenches. Yeah, right there. Okay, you got me a stringer and a bowstring. Let's set that right there for a second. Now, these limbs couldn't be any easier to put together. You guys know how all this works. And they're marked too, up and down and whatnot have you. So, this is an upper. Okay, good enough. Like I say, I know you guys know how this works. You just simply slip them in there. indent right here with the spring. It snaps in place, and the limb itself slaps underneath, sticks underneath that retaining bolt right there. And well, you gotta, like an idiot, this flanged bolt right here, this flange shaft, you gotta slide that in that brass channel. There, you gotta hear that little click. Now it doesn't click all the time, but anyway, like I say, just make sure that guy right there slides in right there. Okay, and these still kind of stay kind of loose until you get that string on there, and then there ain't no loose about it. I need more room in my little studio here. Okay. The big loop goes at the top, small loop goes at the bottom. That's one thing I'm a big believer in, is using these. I know a lot of guys, these traditional kind of guys, don't use, bow stringers, but I highly recommend that you do. I don't know about you guys, but I think this is a pretty nice looking setup myself. Just for an old guy screwing around here, you know what I mean? Sure you do. Okay. Let me get this. Bothersome bowstring around here. I know a lot of guys get in a hurry and they don't want to fool with these bowstringers, but they ain't worth twisting a limb or shattering stuff and all that nonsense, Okay. Let me get a little step in here and get this thing loaded up, strung up. I always make dang sure that on these recurves especially, that the string is in the grooves, and there ain't nothing to, I ain't careful with these kind of bows here, you get an eye put out. Okay, now let me check some. Okay, anyway, here you go, guys. 66-inch recurve. Nice thing about bows, the only bad thing about hunting is if a guy wanted to hunt with this has got shiny, these limbs are shiny, but it's nothing to camouflage them with some gauze tape or whatever, Now what was I going to do? I don't know. I think I was just going to show you this. Oh, sorry. I was going to check something, guys. The brace height on this, after studying the manual and everything, is 7 3/4 to 9 inches. Between 7 3/4 and 9 inches. Might as well say 8 to 9 inches. This right here is 8.5 inches, because I messed with it last night for quite a while. Okay. I'll hold this up. The only reason why I'm doing this is guys, guys and gals, I realize that this looks like show and tell, but it's not. The only reason why oh, by the way, I am not affiliated with any of these companies in any way. They don't support me. I don't support them. This is a standalone video produced by me and me only. There, got that disclaimer in. But, you know, it's just to put this out in the public if somebody wanted to do something similar to this. Now, I haven't shot this bow yet because I really don't even have it quite set up, even though I've checked a lot of things. But I know one thing, I can tell by pulling on this thing's got some power, you know. It's weighing in, like I say, is it 6 pounds? No, 4 pounds heavier than what I wanted, but I think I can live with that. Okay, so... yeah, win limbs and Tradtech RISER on this guy. So that's all there is to it. So I really can't say, oh yeah, it's good, it's this, it's that, because I don't know. Yeah, coming in a little heavy, but nice thing about it, you can always change limbs, you can always change risers, you can do whatever, you know. It's mix and match. Yeah, this ILF system is mix and match, you know. So, I don't know what else to tell you. I don't really want to give you no lesson in this type of connection, because there's lots of videos here on YouTube and all that, and I suggest you watch them instead of listening to a clown like me, because I laid off archery for 35 years and I just barely got back into it. So I'm a noob here, you know. Can't you tell by this hat right here? A noob to the max. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let me get on out of here. What do we got? 22 minutes, man. This is... man, nobody's going to watch this video. Okay, I'm going to bail out of here. You guys take care of yourselves. Adios, my friends, and we shall see you on down the trail.